Alright everybody, this is Mo Skill, or as I've told my son here lately, my name is Cool Mist on Platinum. That's the new name, remember it. At any rate, I'm out and about in Memphis tonight on my Hayabusa. Couldn't find anybody that wanted to ride, so I'm pretty much freestyle tonight. But I'm actually making this video because this is my first time riding tonight with my new VooDoo pipes. Not the full system, but I went with just the slip-ons. To say in the least, the difference in power is explosive. It's almost scary. Was kind of aware that was going to happen, but I could never really know it until I went ahead and switched the pipes out. In a little bit I'm going to show you a picture of what the bike did look like versus what the bike does look like now. Give me a minute to switch the recorder around and we'll look at the bike itself, and I'll cover all the technical points that are important about this changeover to the shorty slip-on pipes, VooDoo pipes, from what I had, which was the stock pipes. They were stock pipes, but I had taken them off, gutted them, and had them powder coated white to have white pipes on the bike. It gave me a decent sound, but I wasn't getting the performance increases that I'd get from adding either a full system or some slip-ons that would increase the power a little bit. What I opted to do was to go ahead and go with the slip-ons, and I chose to go VooDoo for a couple of different reasons. One, I'd heard a lot about those systems, or the slip-ons, and two, a cat that I ride with who has a Busa also, he put some VooDoo pipes on his Busa, and oh, it's money when he hits it. So kind of thought about all that and decided to go ahead and go with the VooDoo pipes. Cost me a grip, but I don't have any other vices, and this is my vice, my motorcycle. So this is what I do, guys. Now let me get into the technical aspects. I'll light the bike up too so you can see what I'm talking about. Give me a minute. Alright, so here's the bike, guys. 2013 Hayabusa. Got it about a year ago. Brand new. Got it on the whim and it turned out to be a good thing. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I took off the stock pipes that really attached here, and they were big, okay? I like the two-gun system, so as I said before, I had taken those pipes, and I'll show you a picture of those too, gutted them, and had them powder coated and put them back on the bike. Gave it an interesting look, but like I said before, I wasn't getting the performance increases that I really wanted. So at this point, as I said before, I went ahead and put on the VooDoo pipes. They're the shorties, they're slip-ons. Thought about recording a transition, but opted not to. Son wasn't around, and I didn't want to try to hold the camera and do the work itself. Since when on a motorcycle, you can't afford not to be focused, because if you get something wrong, you don't want to find out you got it wrong when you're going 100 miles an hour. At any rate, these are the shorty slip-on pipes, guys. And as you see there, they're VooDoo slip-ons, okay? And what I opted to go with was the dual slip-on setup, which turned out good for me because, as I said before, I like the two-gun system and or the two-gun look. So I kept those and swapped these out. It was a bit of a headache. I'll tell you a little bit about how that was done. You got to drop the bottom pan or plate or undercover here. A lot of people don't have theirs on there. I opted to keep mine, but you have to drop this, and then there's some pop-outs, plastic pins that pop out that are here and on the other side that hold it up. But once you get that out, you got total access to the pipe system itself. Oh, some other guys got to put on some pipes. Alright guys, here we go again. Had stopped there a little bit. Should have filmed it. Had a few guys stop through. Whenever there's a bike stopped on the side of the road, all riders generally stop. It's just a thing we do. See if there was anything wrong. Nothing's wrong, but they stopped anyway, guys. That's a good thing about biking, and that's not just here in Memphis. That's pretty much all over. If I see a bike on the side of the road, even if I'm in my car, I'll generally pull over and see what's going on and help a rider out. But at any rate, getting back to this, once you pop that bottom piece off, you've got access to the pipe system, and under Hayabusa there's a catalytic converter. I opted not to snatch that out. Somebody talked to me about it, but I opted just to leave it there and just go with the slip-ons, guys. There's another way you could have done it. You could have come up here and cut the catalytic converter off high and get you some pipes created that'll bring it back to have the same angle as this back pipe. Thought about doing it, but I backed away from it. Probably when the bike gets a little older, I'll consider that. But for right now, I just left the catalytic converter on and went with the slip-ons here, okay? So once you get those in there, you got to push them all the way back and tighten up the screw on the clamp itself, and that's what holds it on there. But generally, if you push it on far enough, it's gonna take a lot of force to get that off, number one. And number two is it's got to be force behind it. But you've got an opening in the pipe here that'll let the air flow through. But you need to tighten up the clamp sufficiently, is about the way I'll put it. And after you tighten it up, you'll get a feel for where it is. And you don't want to put it so tight that you bend the pipe there, because that'll allow a hold to develop or allow an open airflow. And that's gonna take you away from the performance gains you can get with the slip-on pipes, okay? Now, with the slip-ons, one of the biggest headaches I had was not actually getting the other pipes off or getting the new pipes on, but it was with this kickstand right here, guys. It's an adjustable kickstand, but when I first put the pipes on, when I came back to here, or when I let the kickstand up, it was tapping directly up against this part of the pipe, guys. If you let that happen too often, you're gonna get a dent there or some other abnormality that'll take away the beauty of the look and the pipes itself, and that's just the way it is. There's a little hang tag here too that I had to take off, because once I adjusted the kickstand, it was tapping up against it. VooDoo, besides sending you the dual pipes out, which I got at a good rate, they send you out a couple other items. There's a car coming by, guys. Somebody else stopping to make sure everything was okay. But at any rate, VooDoo sends you out a couple of items besides just the pipes themselves and the clamps, of course. Instructions, directions, all that good stuff. But you've got two major screws that hold your kickstand in place. And you gotta have the kickstand there, guys, because if it doesn't go up, the bike won't crank up. You basically got a switch here that has to close before to let the bike crank up in gear. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, getting back to it, you got the two big bolts here. You have to let both those bolts go. And one of the things that VooDoo does is they send you out a fat shim and a thinner or smaller shim. And what that does is what you have to do is, after you take the bolt out, take the back bolt out. You take the back bolt out, you put the shim in between the kickstand itself and where the kickstand goes in on the bike, and that's gonna re-angle your kickstand itself, because you got a shim in the back behind the back bolt where it goes up against the motorcycle. Don't put the shim on this side, because you're not gonna get the same angle. It has to go back behind the kickstand and go right off in there. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Appreciate you. Yeah, another cat stopped by to see what was up. Everything's good. I'm down near the High Rollers clubhouse. I'm gonna go down there and check those guys out there in a minute. They're a motorcycle club here in Memphis. They do a lot of good things for the community. They're pretty good guys. At any rate, You got those two bolts, and remember, as I was saying, you got to put the shim behind the actual kickstand piece. That'll give you a nice angle away with your kickstand. That'll angle it away from tapping up. Yeah, I'm good, man. Good? Yeah, I'm good. Right. Thanks, man. Nice bike there, guys. But at any rate, getting back to the project, once you put the shim behind the kickstand, what's going to happen is it's going to angle it this way, away from the pipe itself, okay? And you have to tighten the bolts back up. And on the bolts themselves, once you loosen them, you got to take them both out. Once you take them out, you got to get some Loctite behind those bolts to make sure that they stay in there once you screw them back in, guys. And what I'm going to do is next week I'm going to run the bike up to the Suzuki dealership here on Goodman Road and let them make sure that those bolts are tightened up to standard, okay? I don't think they come loose, but I'm gonna let those guys take a look at them anyway, just to make sure. With this motorcycle, guys, I ride this bike, so I need everything to be nice and tight, and I don't play with that. But at any rate, getting back to what I was talking about, once you get that done, when the kickstand goes up, it doesn't tap this, okay? Another headache I had, though, is once I adjusted the kickstand outwards, it came out and it started interfering with my gear shifting here. Couldn't get my feet up under there good enough to be able to shift the gears up or to shift them down, okay? So what I had to do was, first I used a big shim behind that. What I had to do is take the bolts back out and put the smaller shim back behind there. And what that did was that took the angle back just enough to where it still wasn't tapping this, but it wasn't interfering too badly with my gear shifter here. What I'm still gonna do, guys, is I'm still gonna change this out. I'm not gonna do anything with these bolts because I don't want to have any problem with the gear shift, so I'm not gonna change that angle. What I'm gonna do is get an extender for this so that it extends out this way further. It'll make it easier for me to change gears, and that'll leave me at a point where I have as little modification as possible. I don't want to move away from that, but that's basically what I did. Another reason I got the shorties on and took the big pipes off is, I tell you what, you guys will have to wait on that piece. I'll just tell you when that piece happens. But there was a reason for me changing these out to the shorty pipes. All right, so that's the technical piece of me being out on the bike tonight. Freestyle, as I said. First nice ride with these VooDoo pipes on the bike. And let me tell you something, guys. Again, the change in the speed and the takeoff and the acceleration is explosive. That's the best way I can put it. It's just so amusing. And I'll share this with you guys too. When I was out, probably about 30 or 40 minutes ago, I got around toward downtown Memphis, and I must have been putting it in or putting it down, because one of our fine Memphis police officers stopped me. And when he stopped me, he asked me, did I know how fast I was going? And I asked him, is that a trick question? At any rate, he just gave me a heads up, guys, and told me to slow down a bit. And to tell you the truth, I was going probably around 110, okay? And I would only do something like that this time of night where there ain't that much traffic around. When there's a lot of traffic around, guys, I tone it way down, because actually the only control you have on a motorcycle is what you do. You have no control over what some rider is going to do. That's one of our fine Memphis police officers right there. These guys are out here, guys, and they will stop you on a Hayabusa. But I'll tell you something, let me change this around. I'm going to change this back around so I can talk to you guys. All right, guys, moving on. I just missed those guys that came through on some bikes. Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, just taking a little break. Yeah, I'll be down there. All right, guys. guys, we're back to me. But what I was going to say is this. The Memphis, and I guess any police officers, they'll stop you if you're really getting into it. So you got to be careful and only do that kind of thing in relatively safe areas. Telling the person not to go fast on a motorcycle, that's what we call an oxymoron. If they're on a motorcycle, they own a motorcycle to go fast. So keep that in mind. Our blue boy just took off. Got his lights on. I'm just glad he's not coming this way. So he went the other way, so I guess something is going down. But at any rate, getting back to the ride tonight. Again, I had no idea, and part of the reason I wanted to make this particular video too was to tell anybody, if you got a Hayabusa or even a ZX14, take those big pipes off, guys. I'm gonna tell you. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you should do it the way I did it. I left the big pipes on for a considerable amount of time. I did, and I got decent performance. I also put a Power Commander 5 on the bike, so that allows you to adjust your air and gas intake to get maximum performance. And I've got to take the bike back to get the Power Commander readjusted, since I put the VooDoo pipes on the bike. And I'm gonna tell you, I need to do that quickly. My ride tonight was gas drinking, to say the least. I got around the other side of town. I was almost down to a half a tank of gas, but come on, I gotta be honest, I was punching it. And then this, had to be a 2015 Camaro. Pulled up to me, looked over at me, and it was on. So we got at it a couple of miles, and then I pulled out of that and I went on around the corner, go to downtown Memphis. Like to ride in downtown Memphis in the evening time at night. Still a pretty good bit of activity going on down there around Beale Street. Hate that they close the park down there. As soon as it turns dark, they run folks up out of there, and then they basically block off that area. I don't know who came up with that thought process, but it aggravates you a bit, because when it's nice and cool, when you're on your bike, is when you might want to go down there and get off your bike for a bit and just sit around, walk around, you know, enjoy the boardwalk, as it were. Mississippi River runs right by there, so it's a nice place to go in the afternoon. But at any rate, getting back to the ride, and again, anybody that has Hayabusa or ZX14, guys, look at getting you either going ahead and spending $1,500 to $2,000 to get the full system, which you can do. I mean, and it depends on if you got the money, okay? But even if I had the money, I probably wouldn't do it. $1,500, $2,000, if I'm racing the bike, I would do it. But I'm getting something out of it. But to ride, I wouldn't put that kind of money into a full system. It's just not necessary, especially when you can get the power advances as much as you need on the street from slip-on pipes and pretty much Power Commander 5, guys. But you've got to have some kind of system on there to adjust out the air-gas ratios to get the performance out of the bike. I chose Power Commander. It's been around forever. All the guys I know had Power Commanders, and I heard good things about it. And but for the most part, a guy named Dan at the Suzuki dealership on Goodman Road, that's the only person I let work on my bikes, period. Why? I can't have somebody that ain't gonna get the job done, because I ride. When I say I ride, I ride. I don't need to find out they forgot to do something in the middle of digging in, to say the least. So for the last 5 years, He's the only person that's worked on my bikes, and that's the way I'm going to keep it, straight across the board. Would have let him do the VooDoo pipes, but it's just too simple. You know, the simple things I do myself, and I take him there for the complex things. Again, they got to program my Power Commander 5, so I'm going to take the bike in and let him do that. And I just might, I got to think about it. Drop $160 and let him go ahead and dyno the bike. That's where they put it on, I guess the best way to put it is a conveyor belt where the back wheel is connected to rollers, and they tune your bike that way with the bike actually going. About 2 runs on the dyno. The first run to get an idea of where you're at. The second run to adjust it out to where it needs to be to get the peak performance out of the bike. It's about $160. So I'm gonna think about that one, and may let them go ahead and do it, but unfortunately, I guess my thinking was a bit disjointed, because when I took my bike in for servicing with the big pipes on it, I got them to dyno it then, but I hadn't fully made up my mind whether I wanted to do the new pipes or whatnot yet. And the other reason, as I was talking about earlier, why I actually got the shorties, is what they call shorty pipes, is yet to come, but it's coming. So time will tell with that, and I'll give you that information when that point hits. So at any rate, I'm gonna ride a little bit more, and I'm gonna get on to the house. So I'm gonna ride a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna get on to the house. Okay, it's just too nice a night out here tonight not to ride. Not too hot, not too cold. And it's just a good night. I'll probably head on down here to the High Rollers clubhouse for a minute, though. And I'll say another thing about the bikers here in Memphis. I'm unaffiliated, guys. I ride freestyle, but I can say about the clubhouses around Memphis, they okay. If you go in there and you're not acting crazy, you can get in, you can sit down, you can eat, you can enjoy yourself, you know, but you can't go in there with a bad attitude or with the wrong attitude, and you won't have any issues. I've been riding here in Memphis for about 6, 7, 8 years, and get along great with the guys here. And like I said earlier, if there is a problem with a bike, we all stop to look out for each other, whether we're riding at night or not. That's another good thing about biking, and that's another reason that I really think that I enjoy biking, riding. Not just going fast, guys. It's about the ride. And this is my vice. I don't smoke, don't drink, not anymore. I put that down a little bit, but my bike is my vice, and I ride. So there it is. But at any rate, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I just wanted to shake you down on some changes that I've made on the bike, and this is basically my first installment of the let me see what I'll call it, the Lion King Chronicles. Let's go with that one. Yeah, this is the first film I'll make for that purpose, for this riding season, and I plan to ride this season and do a little traveling and that sort of thing. So you will see this bike out there and around, and when you see it and see me, you better bet I'm in there. So this will be just that first installment. Just looking around, guys. Some more guys on bikes. Everybody's stopping. But like I said, guys, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And ladies, if you want to ride, you can ride too. We look after you too. So if you get on a bike and you're having some problems here in Memphis and just about anywhere, they're going to stop. They're going to see what's going on. They're going to make sure you're all right. And so that's an incentive for those of you who think about riding. It's just too hard to describe. If you're thinking about it, you might like it. You don't know if you like it or not until you try it. So if you think that you might want to ride, there's an element of danger, and I'm gonna tell you, I thought about that. My family thought about that. My oldest son thought about that. So what I did is I went back and took the driver's rider's course. They got a nice place here in Memphis out at Southwest College where you can take the motorcycle riding course, and I recommend that for anybody out there that hasn't taken that course, or anybody out there that's trying to get their motorcycle driver's license. And I wouldn't ride without the driver's license, guys. The good thing about taking the driver's course is once you're done with that course, you go through a didactic phase where you do it in classroom, and then you go through a performance phase where you've got to do certain things on a motorcycle. Got to be able to stop it, you know, zigzag it, and do some other necessities that you might run into while you're on your bike. So once you're done with that, you get a certificate. You take it to your DMV office, and then you don't have to do the motorcycle riding part of the test there. You just take the written test. And did I take a written test? Oh no, you don't take a test at the DMV. You actually take a test at the motorcycle riding course. And once you take that test, that covers you for the another guy coming by on the bike. Yeah. Oh, they out tonight, guys. But once you take the motorcycle riding test at the motorcycle riding course center, that is the test you have to take, period. That covers you for the DMV. It's the same test you take at the DMV, except you're taking it during the course. And once you're done with the course, you get your certificate, you take it to your DMV, and then they'll add the motorcycle riding authorization, affiliation to your driver's license. And it's just a permanent part of your driver's license. And from there, you're pretty much good to go. Another bike coming through, guys. Everything good? Oh, that was one of our beautiful ladies here in Memphis. She rolling too. She's on a cruiser and looking good on a cruiser. So it's all good. All right, guys. Here we go again. Another group, another set of people coming through. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, guys.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Another group of folks stopping by to make sure everything's all right. Like I said, guys, it's all good in this place. It's all good in this place. So, but at any rate, I'm gonna get out of here. When I get home, I'll probably do just a little bit more to show you what the bigger pipes are. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna ride just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit more. So this is Cool Mist on Platinum, out on the first installment of the Lion King Chronicles. Lion King, that would be me. So this is the first installment of the Lion King Chronicles. Man, this is dark. I gotta get under some light. Oh, here we go. All right, guys. Finally made it to his house. And remember just a few more things I wanted to bring up. I'm going to flip the camera around so we can look at the bike again, guys. Give me a minute here. All right, guys. Here we go. There's a couple of things I forgot to mention. Besides the performance advances of the VooDoo pipe shorties, also one of my most favorite things is, besides the performance, that the pipes actually allow me to hear the motor better. Okay, you get a better feel of where the motor is, and anybody that rides will tell you that allows you to shift at the appropriate time to get. It also plays into performance. You don't want to shift until you reach the top of your power band, and you can hear that and you can feel it when the bike is not pulling forward anymore. with the new VooDoo pipes on, I can hear the motor better. So my shifting is more productive, I guess you can say, because I'm shifting at the top of the power band. And that's a real good thing. These pipes let you hear that motor in a way I've never heard a motor before. And it just makes it a joy in riding. And they've got a very, very nice sound to them. In fact, let me turn them on so you all can hear them. Give me just a minute here. I'm going to crank it up. Don't turn around this way. All right, guys, I'm gonna crank the bike up for just a minute, okay? Because the pipes are loud, but I'm gonna crank it up. Come a little bit closer. What the VooDoo pipes sound like actually on the bike. It's got a nice growl to it. Listen to it. All right, guys, that's all I can give you. I don't want to cause problems with my neighbors, but those are the key things. And just one more thing about those pipes. Like I said, I got the power command on the bike, and it was adjusted out for the bigger pipe. So I gotta go and let them program in a new setting for these pipes here. And I need to do that real fast because she drank up some gas. I was rolling. I was putting it in there, but she drank up some gas tonight. So once I get that adjusted out, then it'll be a better ratio of gas and air, and then I won't be really burning up no whole lot of gas unless I'm hitting it all the time. And let me be honest with you guys, I ain't in it that deep all the time. I'm gonna move, but I ain't in it like that all the time. It's just a nice bike, and I am really, really glad that I got this Hayabusa. Not that I got anything about the against the ZX14. If I'd have got that one, I might have liked that one. But this is the first major sports bike that I got, and I'm a Hayabusa man from this day forward. But that's what we got going on, guys. And oh, I got one more thing. Yes. I got to tell you this. I was listening to Tamela Mann's new album tonight on my ride, and go figure. Never thought I'd be listening to gospel music while I was riding my motorcycle. Hopefully that won't get me thrown out of the motorcycle riding association or whatever there is to throw me out of. But I listened to her whole album on the bike tonight, and it's a good album. She is a talented lady. So if you ain't heard it or ain't got her new album, it's the one with "Take Me to the King" on it. But she's got some other nice cuts on there too. You guys ought to check out that CD. It's a great CD. Well worth the money. All right, guys. Again, Cool Mist on Platinum out. And just one more time. This is the first installment of the Lion King Chronicles. And finally, ride strong and live free. See you guys on the road. Peace.
Pop's riding out, taking off. The Booster. Hayabusa. Now the bike is really lit up.